what I wanted to preface this with is this verse, 2 Corinthians 1, 3, and 4. Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of mercies and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in our affliction, so that we may be able to comfort those who are in any affliction with the comfort with which we ourselves are comforted by God. Just reading this makes me feel like I need to share it, not in a way that I don't want to, but in a weird way where if I share this, it may be able to help somebody else. I'm reading through a devotional right now, and I guess my prayer, as it's written here, that says, touch someone else by my experience, help them to see you clearly, help me to touch someone else who is going or has gone through what I am going through. Help me to not be afraid of this ever happening again. Help me to get through this so that it won't hinder my life. That's my reason for sharing this. Not because I haven't figured out or because I'm over it, but because I want somebody else to take comfort and be pointed back to God if they are going through this. I've been helped by people sharing their stories, and I want to be able to help somebody else because this is a difficult time. So I think I'm going through a miscarriage. I'm not sure. I mean, every sign points to it. I just can't say 100% certain that I am because I can't get in to see the doctors. But there's no other reason why I would be bleeding this much this early in my pregnancy. I don't know how to get through this. I don't know how to go about this. I've called the doctor. I spoke to multiple people. They said there's nothing that they can do. And that was it. They said take medication for pain management and call if you're still bleeding in a couple days. I don't know how to feel about this. I've never been through this. I feel scared. At this point, I know that there's 0% chance that this will end in something other than a miscarriage. I feel let down that I'm not getting more medical help, but at the same time, I understand in a weird way. I don't understand, but that's just a fact that I have to deal with, is that they can't do anything at this point. Like, no medical intervention is going to save this baby, and I get that, I guess. It doesn't make the hurt any less. Miscarriages are common. 1 in 4 pregnancies end in miscarriage. I get that it's common, but this is my first time going through it, and I don't know what to do. I wish I had some type of closure. Talking about it helps. My goal is that if by me sharing helps even just one person know that what you're going through, you are not alone. Many people have gone before you and been through this, and there is a lot of solidarity in that, and there's a lot of comfort in that. It doesn't take away any of the pain and suffering that we're feeling right now. That is very real, and your pain and suffering is very real, regardless of how many people have gone through it. It still sucks. It's not easy. You're losing a hope that you had. You're losing a little life that you were really excited for. It's very real to feel what you're feeling, and one thing that's helped me a ton is just knowing that how you deal with it is how you deal with it. There's no right or wrong way. My main point for sharing this, and what I will continue to share in some weird way, there's the cute little 2-year-old awake now. In some weird way, I'm gonna finish this quick before I go get him. Knowing that I can help somebody through this suffering almost feels like there's a point to it, and it eases the burden a little bit. It doesn't take it away. I still feel every inch of it, but in some weird way, knowing that I'm able to help somebody through this is what helps me kind of process through this more. I should probably go get him. That's the other hard part of this, is putting on a brave face for when my son's awake and not letting him feel the effects of this. Still being a parent and still trying to grieve for what I've lost. I am so tired right now. So the reason why I'm saying this is because I wonder if there's a possibility that I might be pregnant. I've been tired before, especially around this time. I do get tired because of the PMDD, but the symptom that I'm noticing is absent at the moment, is the depression, because usually the tiredness is caused or accompanies the depression. I haven't had a ton of symptoms, so on my app I checked, because last time I got pregnant I recorded like every little teeny tiny symptom that I experienced, and back then I was a lot more aware. Like, if I was drooling, I would write it down and call that a symptom of early pregnancy. And now it's like, I don't even know. I'm like, I felt a little bit of cramping. Let me draw something. I felt a little bit of cramping, but it was so faint. I'm like, is this even a thing? Because like last time, I felt pretty hard cramping. And I'm assuming that was the implantation. But now I'm like, I don't even know. The thing is I'm so busy and I don't have a chance to like be super in tune with my body like I was last time. With him, I took a pregnancy test around this time. I think it was like, I started testing positive like 10 days past ovulation. I'm not quite there yet. I think I'm at like day 8 or 9. So if I wanted to, I could probably take a test tomorrow or wait the next day. But the thing is, too tired and exhausted to even care about what symptoms are going on. And also, I remember the 2-week wait, which is what I'm in. The 2-week wait was a lot longer last time because it was just me and I was in school. So it's like all I did was just think about, is this a pregnancy symptom? Is this a pregnancy symptom? And now I'm like, who knows what's going on with my body? I'm tired because I have a kid and I don't sleep super well right now. They always say like your second pregnancy goes faster because by then you're running around with a kid and you're just like, wait, what? Now it's time to give birth, huh? Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, that'd be cool if I was pregnant. I'm trying to decide how I should tell Simeon because like he thinks I'm pregnant right now. I tell him not to like be so confident and because I don't want him to get my hopes up. But we didn't have any troubles the first time around. But I'm like, we shouldn't say that because then I don't want to get troubles the second time around. So we'll see what happens. There also is the possibility of a miscarriage, which would be super sad. I don't know how I would deal with that. It kind of looks like there's something there.
It does. Give it a day or two.
I think there's actually a line here.
I'm pretty sure there is.
I think I see a line, like legit. It is 12 days past ovulation for me, and I think I just tested positive. Alright, I'm gonna take a pregnancy test. Spoiler alert, I am pregnant. But today or yesterday was my official week after my period was supposed to come. So I have officially missed my period, which is when you're technically supposed to test. So I got this handy little thing and I'm going to take the test. I just took it. I'm supposed to wait 2 minutes to check the results, but as you can see, there's already a very clear line right there. I'm 5 weeks and 1 day pregnant today. I haven't taken any photos yet. I don't know why with this time around. I guess I've just been busy and I don't know, last time around it was such a big deal being pregnant, but this time around I'm just like, I have to keep reminding myself that I am because I just keep forgetting. I think we can confirm that I am pregnant. And I already made an appointment with my OB. Due date, February 24th, which is pretty cool. February, baby. I don't know if it's a he or a she. I kind of feel like it's a girl, but here's 5 weeks. Basically, I'm just bloated, but I already look like, I mean, that's still leftovers from Gideon. But before it was like this, but now it's like this because of the bloating. Gonna probably be hard to hide. So I'm gonna stick with these big baggy shirts for, I'm 5 weeks and I need to hide it till 12 weeks. That's not gonna be possible. We might have to tell people sooner. Hey Simeon, guess what?
What?
What? So it's 3 a.m. right now. 3:30. And it feels light, so I can't sleep. It feels like it's like the worst night of my life. I don't know what's happening. I guess I'm just scared for the worst. So I'm bleeding. I'm pregnant and I'm bleeding, and I've been bleeding for like 12 hours now. I don't know what to do. I feel really lost. Like I feel like you don't want to Google, so I try not to Google, but I'm not getting any information from anywhere else. The doctor just said, oh, that's normal. If you're still bleeding on Monday, go in. In my mind, the only outcome is a miscarriage. Like, there's nothing else. And I just want to, like, go in and get an ultrasound or, like, hear the heartbeat to see if everything's okay. I'm trying to figure out what to do about Gideon. Like, that's literally all I dreamt about. Went to bed at 10. It's 3:30. I just had a big long dream about, like, what are we going to do about Gideon if we need to go into the ER. Yesterday felt really weird. Like, we told both of our parents that we're pregnant because of the bleeding. We're just asking for prayers, but it's not how I envisioned telling them. It's weird because you wait 12 weeks to make sure, like, the pregnancy's gonna last before you tell people, but then if something happens during the pregnancy, you have to tell people anyway. And so for me, I'd rather be excited and tell people on my own terms earlier instead of having to be like, hey, so I'm pregnant, but, like, that's how we had to tell them. And so it's like, you don't get that chance to have that joy and be excited. Yesterday I just went into, like, what do we need to do mode, and I think I scared Simeon a little bit because, like, I went and, because I'm expecting, okay, like, if I'm miscarrying I might bleed a lot, so I went and I put, like, a garbage bag underneath the sheet so it doesn't ruin the mattress, and then I put a towel over it so that I'm sleeping on a red towel, and I packed my little bag. I got my clothes picked out in case we need to leave in the middle of the night, in case I'm in a lot of pain. I started charging all my devices, and I think I was, like, scaring him a little because he's like, it's gonna be fine, you're not gonna bleed that much. And he said something about, like, it feels like you're just expecting the worst right now. And for me, I'm like an expect the worst, hope for the best kind of person, but in this case, honestly, I cannot feel the hope, so I'm just going into that expect the worst mode and prepping everything that I need. This has been the longest weekend ever. It's only Sunday. I started bleeding on Friday. It feels like it's a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I feel like I lived 3 days yesterday. So it's day 3, and I've been bleeding for 3 days now. I don't technically know what's going on because the doctors won't see me, but I have a pretty good idea. I mean, I had to Google. I feel like the biggest thing through this all is that I don't know what to do, and I thought that if this had ever happened, there'd be more resources and help, but there's not. Like, from the medical professional, like, I have a lot of support from my family, which is so, so nice. But from, like, my doctors, it's just, like, I'm literally going through, like, the worst thing in my life right now. And they're just like, there's nothing we can do. There's no point in coming in. Which, like, I get that, but it still doesn't make it any worse. Like, I want to be seen. I want somebody to, like, see what's going on and actually tell me, instead of me having to say the whole time, like, well, this could be happening. I don't know if this is happening, but it's like I'm forced to draw that conclusion on my own, and I'm not a medical professional, so I don't know if that's the right conclusion, but they're not telling me. What's helped me is that there's this person I follow on Instagram who's been open about her miscarriage. Hearing her story and seeing her walk through it, and she chose to share about it while she was going through it. She chose to be vulnerable. That really helped me, seeing that, like, this is what she's going through. Seeing that somebody's willing to be so open and honest about what was going down while she was in the midst of it. And part of me wonders, like, do I need to be that person? And I don't know. Part of me feels like if I can help somebody the same way that I was helped by her story, like, that would mean the world, and that would kind of help make this suffering a little easier. I'm going through this miscarriage right now, and it's not breaking me. It's devastating, and it's really hard, but I'm not broken. And, like, things will get better, and I will get through this. And that was something that the person I was following, that she was sharing through her miscarriage, and she took a month to kind of go through, grieve, let herself feel, sometimes openly, sometimes not. But for her way of processing was sitting down and making a video about it and being open and talking with it. And so after a month of doing that, she felt like she was starting to climb out of that. She had her time to grieve. And not saying that it's not going to continue to be hard, but just like a month of that, of being open and honest. And she said that was what she needed to be able to move on. Not that you're ever going to forget, because honestly, I don't think there's going to be a day that goes by that I'm not going to think about this. Just knowing, like, seeing her go through that and seeing that, like, she can move on after this, that is possible. And it's possible to do it in the way she did it, which was choosing to be open and honest about it. And she said for her that helped with the grieving process. I don't know, it's really hard when you're basically your world's crashing down and you look outside and nothing's changed, and you see people going about their business and people are laughing, and but it's like, but don't you know, like, this is horrible. I can't believe this is happening. Yesterday, I was told that now there's a baby up in heaven waiting for you. And so that's hard to think about, because it's like, that kind of makes it real in a weird way, that there's already a little member of our family up there. And that's what's hard to think about. It's like thinking we're a family of 4. And I mean, for the past few weeks, all of the pictures that we've been taking, it was like our little secret that we're actually a family of 4 when we're taking these photos. But now, are we a family of 3? Are we a family of 1 child on earth and 1 child in heaven? I want to take a picture. I don't know if the baby's passed yet, so this could be like my last pregnancy photo, and just see if there's something that I can create that would help me remember this pregnancy by, and remember whoever this baby was. So I just got done taking, like, ex-maternity photos, I guess. I wanted to find some way to remember this, so I just set up my camera on a tripod and I took your traditional maternity style photos. It feels really weird, but it's something that I decided this is one of the ways how I want to remember this by, because it did happen. It was a time in my life. But I want to do like a double exposure photo of like where I overlay another photo, and like in the place of where my stomach is, I'll put something. I haven't decided yet. But I see why people turn to art as a way to make sense of things, and I think this is my way of doing that. I never considered myself an artist, or I never saw art as an outlet, but I think it was just because I didn't find the right one for me. I have this concept in my head and I want to create it, and it's not something that is found in nature. Like, you can't find a silhouette with flowers or something in it. Like, that doesn't happen. I really like the possibilities that you can have with art and with Photoshop. Just trying to find a way to express what it is that I'm feeling. Life still goes on, and I need to take a photo for a collab that I'm doing, which it's just really weird to me. Just because I'm resuming other aspects of my life doesn't mean that I'm forgetting anything by any means. But I think I do need to find a way to work towards normal and continue on with my life, because life does go on. Life has to go on. I am a mother to a living child, and that child still needs me. That child needs me to still move on. Yeah, so I'm gonna go take a photo for a collab, which just sounds really weird. This is new to me. This is a journey. This is a process, all of that stuff. So yeah. It's been 4 days. Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So today is the 4th day that I'm bleeding. Still bleeding. I'm going to call the hospital today and see if there's any way that I can get in. I'm just really frustrated that I'm having to do this like without really knowing what's going on. Like, I have an idea, but I can't say that it's been confirmed because like the doctors won't see me. And it's just really frustrating. They just keep saying there's nothing that they can do. And so it's like, okay, well, test my HCG levels or something. And then when I called into the ER, she's like, well, they can just test your HCG levels. And I was like, okay. But then she was like talking me out of it, saying like, well, they're just gonna have to follow up with you, and there's really no point in coming in, is what she just kept saying over and over again. So I'm like, okay. I'm going to call today and be more insistent. It's almost 6 o'clock now, so just kind of waiting for things to open up. Yesterday I did some like maternity photo. It's weird, just the emotions. Sometimes being up, sometimes being down. Like this morning I was down and I was like starting to create the double exposure piece, but then Simeon's sitting on the couch and he's watching something funny, and so he like was laughing and telling me, and like hearing that laughter was so foreign because I'm like, I feel like I'm in the depths right now, and then you're laughing. It's so weird. But then he's like telling me what he's laughing about, and I'm like quickly coming out of this depths. It's like it switches over fast, because then I kind of settle back into like normal life for just a few seconds and forget about what's going on, and then it's like reality hits again. So yeah, it's weird. So I was able to get an appointment today at 10:30, and I'm headed out now to go meet with my OB. Okay, I just got back from the doctor, and she said that given the amount of blood I've lost, there's pretty much no other option than a miscarriage. She said that she can't say for sure because she hasn't seen the test results, but more than likely it's a miscarriage. And that doesn't surprise us. That's exactly what we were expecting to hear. I got my blood drawn today, and then she'll draw it again on Wednesday. The doctor checked my cervix, and she said it was opened just a little bit. Her guess was that I was on the end of the miscarriage, and it was starting to close back up after letting all the pregnancy tissue pass. I'm doing okay right now. I think it's okay to be okay. It's weird because my emotions, they come and go in waves. But right now, I feel okay. It's weird to smile. It's weird to like, I don't know. Like I said, maybe it's the pregnancy hormones. Maybe it's the fact that I was finally able to get in and just be seen. Somebody looking at my body specifically, my situation specifically, and then telling me, okay, this is what I think is happening. This has been a very up and down journey so far, and I feel like I'm just beginning it. But I was able to reach out to a friend who recently experienced a miscarriage, and she was just kind of telling me her experience and just listening to me too, and that was very helpful. Right now I'm writing a blog post. Writing through these things is kind of how I process them, just like I'm talking here. Like, this is how I process them. These are things that are new that I'm trying, and they seem to be working, because before, if something would happen, I mean, I've never had anything of this magnitude happen, but before I would just kind of like shove things down, not talk about them. They don't go away when you do that. So now I'm just kind of speaking them, and it feels like I'm just dispersing it out a little bit. So there's this song, the Waymaker song, but this girl does some ad-lib. Joy unspeakable all through the valley I've got. Joy unspeakable. Yesterday I was listening to that song, and I wasn't like feeling like I am now, and I was like, how can you have joy unspeakable in the midst of this, like through this valley? Like, joy unspeakable is the last thing that I could muster up right now. Our joy comes from the Lord, and right now I'm in a valley, like circumstantially, but emotionally I don't necessarily feel it at this exact moment. This is me being given that joy through the valley, if that makes sense. Like, I can't tell you, well, I can tell you where it's coming from. In the midst of this miscarriage, still praise God for the joy that he's given me, which sounds crazy, just praising him that my moods are up right now in this moment. That's so weird to think that I can be smiling even though I am literally still bleeding from a miscarriage. Like, that just blows my mind. Literally, that's the only thing right now that is the reason why I'm still able to sit here and speak and not be full of tears and just smile. I want to be open and honest with how I'm feeling, in the hopes that I can help somebody else, especially when I've been given the grace of having moods like this where I do feel okay in the midst of this grieving. I want to use that energy to be able to help somebody else while I can. I just got my tests back from the doctors to look at my HCG level. So at 6 weeks, which is where I'm at, it should be between 1,080 and 56,000. And I'm at 298, which just confirms my miscarriage.
Band-aid.
Yeah, Mommy has a Band-Aid. See? Mommy got her blood drawn.
Blood.
Yeah, Mommy had blood taken.
Kiss it.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet of you. Do you kiss owies like Mommy kisses your owies? It's me again, obviously. But yeah, today is the 7th. I cannot believe it's been 4 days. It literally feels like it's been an eternity. Saying 4 days feels like it does not do what we have been through justice at all. Well, I guess kind of 5 days. Like the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th. We're starting the 5th day. Today has been a little bit better. I went to therapy this morning. It was nice to be able to get in. It was nice to be able to talk. I feel like I shouldn't know where she leans, like, politically. I feel like I shouldn't know that, but I do, and it's very apparent, and we disagree on a lot of issues. I don't let that keep me from taking away what she can offer me. I personally believe that when I miscarried at 6 weeks, that was a baby. That was a life passing. That's how I see it. That is not how my therapist sees it. For her to tell me when I am sitting in her office saying, like, I have lost this baby, she said, like, looked me in the eye and she said, that was not a baby. Twice. She repeated herself. I just sat there. I didn't nod. I didn't say, nothing. I just sat there and stared back at her. And she said again, that was not a baby. Like, she said, not a baby that you hold like this. She said it was going to become a baby. And I heavily disagree with that. And the fact that she is telling a mother who just lost a baby, telling her that is not a baby. She used the term cluster of cells. I can disagree with that. I'm not going to let that throw me into this turmoil. She's allowed to have her opinion. I don't need to take her opinion as law. I feel like I cannot trust my therapist in the way where when I go to her office, I just turn off my brain and just let whatever she says be the truth without thinking about it. I don't do that. I don't feel like I can do that, and also I don't think that you should do that. I still think critically about the things that she's telling me, and I'm still allowed to disagree. She does have things that are helpful. What she was saying is that the way that I grieve is personal to me. I can be okay with being okay. And right now, I'm okay. Right now, I'm not broken. For me, in my head, I'm like, well, okay, I need to be grieving like XYZ. There is nothing to compare it to because every situation is unique. It helps me going forward where it's like, I cannot judge another person for choosing to do that, whatever they do with their grief. There's no right or wrong way. For me, I feel like telling people, I feel like talking about this. I don't want to suffer in silence. I don't like that you have to wait 12 weeks before you can announce your pregnancy. And if you do that beforehand, you're taboo or you're jinxing it, or it's on you if you miscarry and now you have to go tell people. Like, that's not how I want to do things. And if somebody wants to do them, okay, that's up to you. I'm not going to judge that. Please don't judge me for doing it a different way. I want to share how I'm feeling and what it is I'm thinking so that if another person is going through this situation, they will know that they are not alone. And that's what my therapist was saying too. She thinks that a lot of the coping mechanisms that I have in place right now is helping. I did a maternity photo shoot while I was actively miscarrying because I want to create something out of that. I sit down and I talk to the camera for hours on end. I also talk with family members too. I verbally process all of this. That's something that I didn't do a while ago. I just kind of held everything in and that didn't work. So now I'm trying something else. I'm using art as therapy. I'm using video journaling as therapy. I'm using actual therapy as therapy. I'm praying a lot. God has given me an abundance of tools to use to help me through this. I know that God is there for me in the highs and the lows, and that's so comforting. A combination of all of those things, it's probably what's actually helping me not feel in the depths right now. All right, thank you so much.
Yep, bye now.
Bye. That confirms it.
Yeah.
Nice that the doctor herself called me. So I got the phone call, the official phone call from the doctor. Everything's been confirmed. I had the miscarriage. And I'm okay hearing that news. It's what I was expecting. I have already spent the last couple of days processing that, talking through it, thinking about it. And I feel like I'm ready to move forward. There's a lot of things that have happened and I cannot believe that it hasn't even been a week yet. And I feel like our lives have like turned upside down. I was telling my therapist that I feel like better than I should be feeling. Like my moods feel like they're, you know, kind of up here and I feel like they should be down here. But she called me out on the should part and said there's no should. There is no right or wrong way to grieve or handle this. It's how you handle it. That's what you do. That's what is. There's no should. I have closure now. I want to find a way to honor this pregnancy and honor the baby. So I made a double exposure photo. I really like how that turned out. If I stopped and looked at everything that's crazy right now, like we're in the midst of a pandemic, there's civil unrest happening left and right, there's so much uncertainty, we are overcrowded in our apartment, we're looking for a house to move to, And then you add this on top of it, and it's just, I don't know, it's a lot. And if I stop and dwell on that, I would get severely overwhelmed. But I'm choosing to look at the mercies through this. Just the small things that it doesn't make it better, it doesn't make the loss any less, but little things that I'm choosing to look on. The first one is that my chances of getting pregnant again are still really high. I'm not put at any greater risk because I've had a miscarriage. The doctor was saying it's 1 in 4 pregnancies. Every new pregnancy, the stats reset. It's the same, 1 in 4. You don't have a higher chance. She said if you have 2 or 3 miscarriages in a row, then we would talk, then we might do some more tests to figure out if there's something going on. And she said too that since it was our first time trying, and we also with my first pregnancy, that was the first time trying, she said more than likely I'll get pregnant soon. When this miscarriage did happen, my husband had the weekend off. He only gets 2 weekends off a month. If it was gonna happen, that weekend was a good time for it to happen. Also, I did miscarry very early on. Like, I was 6 weeks, and I had only known for 2.5 to 3 weeks that I was pregnant. It's still a loss, and it doesn't make it any less valid. It doesn't make the loss any less. For me, I'm choosing to look on that as that is a small mercy. I'm glad for the time that I got. I'm just gonna continue to pray for strength to get through subsequent pregnancies. I'll probably have a heightened sense of anxiety, definitely for the first 12 weeks. The weird part of this is having a miscarriage is one of the worst things I could ever imagine going through. It also is the possibility of a miscarriage, which would be super sad. I don't know how I would deal with that. Now I've been through that, and it didn't break me. There's probably a host of different reasons why, the biggest being God, obviously, like giving me the strength in his promise, the peace that surpasses understanding. I feel like I have that because in all my circumstances, I could have anything but peace, but right now I have peace. So it's just crazy to me. So that's like the main reason why I don't feel like this has broken me. I don't know what the next pregnancy is gonna bring. It's not for me to borrow trouble from tomorrow. So I'm just going to be thankful that today I feel okay. Borderline fine. I feel content. The reason that I can say that with a smile on my face is just a testament to God's grace, and I'm just completely floored by it and so happy to have it, and I will accept it. I've pretty much said all that I've wanted to say. I think I'm ready to bring closure to this. I want people to know that it's really difficult to go through this, but there is life after it, and it doesn't have to break you. You can get through it. It's gonna be really hard, and there's a lot of different ways that you can get through it, but just know that you will get through it. I feel like I can't give advice because I'm still going through it. I just want to say how you go through it is how you go through it. There is no should. There is no what you're supposed to be doing. How you want to grieve is how you want to grieve. If you don't want to talk about it, that's up to you. If you want to talk about it, that's up to you. This is how I choose to deal with it. This is what worked for me. So maybe this can work for you. If not, try something else. I don't know. I think I want to close this chapter-ish. I don't know. I don't have to choose now. I'm going to say goodbye for now.